What's up everybody, it's CJ and I'm back with another Sims 2 speed build, and today I am here with another build request. So if you don't know, I stream over on Twitch 5 days a week. I have these things on my stream called CJ points. They're basically like my channel points. Essentially, they're just like points that you can redeem for stuff on the stream, you know, like to remind me to save the game, or in this case, to ask me to build a Sims house for you. So, one of my viewers, McCall, or sometimes they're also known as Q, asked me if I would be willing to build her a house in The Sims 2. But not just any house in The Sims 2. McCall asked if I could make it have Italian vibes and kind of like Monte Vista inspired. And if you don't know, Monte Vista is a world in The Sims 3. It's like a nice Italian style world, you know? So I was like, okay, I need to both pull up The Sims 2 and then go and pull up The Sims 3. I was taking screenshots. I was trying to get a lot of inspiration. Not so much for the interior because, you know, EA in building houses is kind of, you know, but more so for like the exterior because I wanted my house to kind of blend in with the neighborhood. But of course, I wanted my house to be nice and distinct. So I was trying to have a nice blend, you know, and this is kind of what I came up with. So Q's family has a mom, dad, and 3 kids. They have 2 boys and a girl. And I basically just built this house for that family. I don't really know much about the family. I don't know what their interests are. I don't really know like what kind of Sims they are. So Q, if you download this house and you're like, CJ, this is not right. This does not fit the aesthetic of the family. If you want to change it, feel free to. I won't take it personally. I didn't really have a lot to go off of, so this is just kind of my vibe, you know. But if you need to like change stuff and fix it, feel free to. I don't mind. Just do what you got to do. But this is kind of what I came up with, y'all. So this is a 3-bedroom house, believe it or not. This house is kind of big, but it's a 3-bedroom home, 2 bathroom. It has a kitchen, it has an office space, and it has like 2 side yards, I guess. There's one that's in the front yard that I didn't really put anything there. I didn't really know what to put there, and I didn't really like anything that I placed down. So the front side yard is pretty much empty, but there is a gate if you want to add something there. And then the other side yard is where like a patio is, and it has like a grill and all that good stuff. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but y'all, this was a challenge. For one, I didn't really know what CC McCall had, or if McCall used CC in The Sims 2. I think she does, but I wasn't for sure. So I was trying to make this build as accessible as I could. So I didn't use any custom content to the best of my ability. I hope I didn't. I only have around like 5 gigabytes of CC in The Sims 2. So, you know, so like for some reason it was saying that all of my rugs were custom content, but I think that's because I have like some default replacements. But this house should be accessible. So again, Q, if you want to go back and redecorate, feel free. I was just trying to find things that kind of gave like a Monte Vista kind of vibe, but without having to resort to CC, which was kind of hard, y'all. It wasn't impossible, but it was kind of hard because I have gotten so used to just using custom content in every Sims game, and there's so many cool things that I've downloaded, especially for The Sims 2, that are conversions from The Sims 4, like the wallpapers, the flooring, objects. So I've just gotten so used to like using those, so having to restrict myself to just maxes, it was a challenge, but it wasn't impossible. Okay, I have to keep saying that it wasn't impossible, it's just a challenge. Also, as a lot of y'all know, I build a lot in The Sims 3, and Sims 3 is a lot more limited than The Sims 4 is in terms of build mode. Like, I feel like the further back you go in The Sims, the more limited the games are because they're older. Like, for example, Sims 2, you have to put in a cheat code if you want to do like an alt place kind of thing. Sims 3 and 4, you can just alt place things, but in this game you have to put a cheat code, and then there's like another cheat code where you have to like snap objects off the grid. It was like a lot. So like I tried my best to not use any of those cheats, because just like in Sims 3 and 4, even if you have those cheats on, especially move objects, sometimes, you know, a Sim still can't get to a certain place even with move objects turned on. And in The Sims 2, I feel like the perimeters, like the routing perimeters, are a lot more strict than they are in Sims 3. I don't know if that's true, but that's just kind of what I feel. So I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't really be using a lot of build cheats. I did use move objects for certain things, and I did turn on, I forgot the name of the cheat, but it's like the one where you can snap stuff off of the grid. I used it for like a rug and a coffee table upstairs, but for the most part, everything is just like normal building without really any cheats. I didn't use constraint for elevation, nothing like that. I was really just trying to see if I could really come up with a nice like Italian inspired home with just what I had from maxes. And again, this isn't like a traditional 100% accurate representation. I was just kind of going off of vibes and like what I like kind of also too. So as you can see, I went with a lot of darker colors. We have some dark reds. I was very inspired by The Sims 2 also, because like a lot of the houses in the game have like a more like darker like reddish kind of color, more like dark tones. Like literally this house reminds me of, like, if you ever seen like TikTok and you see like those those Tucson like inspired homes in the 2000s, this house kind of reminded me of that. Like Sims 2 literally is just so nostalgic. It just really, it just reminds me of like things I've seen, or like my family members' homes. Like some of the wallpaper in this game is, I mean, a lot of it is very outdated. It's just kind of cool because like I've seen stuff like that in real life before. So it's just like, yeah, it's kind of like, but also kind of nice at the same time, you know? We move on to the first bedroom. So I wanted to have the daughter, I don't even know their names, but I wanted the daughter to have her own space because like she has two brothers and I'm like, you know, she needs her own space. You know, I would want my own space. So I gave her like a nice pink bedroom. I really do not know what the name of a lot of the packs are in The Sims 2. Like I know some of the names, but I can't tell you what is from what. I know the toy box is like from one of the kids' room stuff packs, so I did use that. I'm using a nice base game nightstand. I believe the bed is also base game. Correct me if I'm wrong though. And then I was really just trying, y'all, to find things that work in here because like, okay, one thing I found out too, but I found this out a while ago, but I kind of forget when I played The Sims 2, is that you can't really rotate objects on an angle. You can if you use a cheat. You kind of have to be careful because like, say for example, it's like a chair and you want to have it sit at like an angle in the corner. Well, you need a mod in order for Sims to sit down in the chair. So even if you can place it with a cheat code, you need a mod for it to work. And I don't know if that's like that for every chair, but I know like when I tried to like do it one time on stream, someone was like, yeah, CJ, you need a mod to make it work. So kind of limited. I just wanted to like find a lot of nice cute things in here. So I'm using that panda chair. Luckily this one is not at an angle, you know, it's just normally against the wall. And then now we have the boys room. So for some reason, y'all, I don't know why I thought so, but I thought The Sims 2 had bunk beds. I don't think it does. So like, let me ask y'all, does that mean that The Sims 3 was the first Sims game to give us bunk beds? Because like, I thought The Sims 2 had one, but I don't think I seen it when I was scrolling through the catalog. So is there like a mod for it to work? Or is there like a mod for that? Because like, if there was, I would have low-key wanted to use that in here because like, that's one thing I like about bunk beds in Sims 3 and 4, I guess, is that you can fit a lot of Sims in one room and they don't take up as much space, you know? But unfortunately, I had to use these two single beds and I was really just trying, y'all, to settle on a color scheme. I went with a green and blue kind of color, but I was trying to find a matching dresser that wasn't super huge. And the ones that I found that I liked, they didn't really come in good colors. Like Sims 2, some of the swatch colors in this game, you know, they're nice, but some of them don't match with other stuff. So I had to just basically use the dresser that you see. For some reason, I can't recolor that one. I don't think it comes in other swatches. So that's like a nice neutral-ish kind of color. So I used that. I'm using a circular rug. We have a chair in here. There's a toy box. I gave one of the boys an end table for like a little nightstand, so you could put stuff up there if you want to. If you look close, there's like posters on the wall. There's like a plane hanging from the ceiling as well. And then now we move on to the downstairs bathroom. So I wanted to make sure that there was a bathroom down here. So this bathroom is pretty roomy, honestly. I used a shower tub combo, which unfortunately that one as well does not come in different swatches. Like, what was going on back in the day? They really was like, okay, let's give them a tub and that's it. Like, no other swatches. Interesting. Well, at least it looks nice, right? So I used that tub. I'm also using some, I don't, maybe these are base game counters. I'm not for sure. I know this mirror is also in The Sims 3, so I think this is also base game. I put a sink in here as well. There's a plant in the corner. We have our toilet. I just think the bathroom looks so nice, y'all. Like, it really just looks like 2005. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it just looks like 2005, you know? So now we move on to this section. So at first, this was going to be a office, like a home office space, but then I thought about it. Where's the kitchen going to go, CJ? So I was like, why don't we swap my idea around? So this is the kitchen. You'll see that there's a room that's right here to the kitchen. That's like a walk-in office space. I thought that would make a lot more sense than having to walk through an office to get to a kitchen, you know? So that's kind of what I went with today. So for the kitchen, I used the same countertops from the bathroom. Funny enough, if you didn't know, y'all, The Sims 2 does not come with upper cabinets. I guess that was a Sims 3 thing, because Sims 2 does not have it. And I always forget until I go to make a kitchen and I'm like, wait a minute, something is missing. And then I'm like, oh, never mind. It's like there's CC ones that you can use that'll work, but the game just doesn't have it at all. So we don't have any upper cabinets in this kitchen. A big problem I had was like, I need to low-key play here though, because I want to make sure that Sims can get around the kitchen. So as you'll see, we have like a really long countertop space. I do get rid of a couple of the countertops so it's not as big. And I did that more so for the kitchen table, because in The Sims 2, if you don't know, when you place a table and chairs, you know in The Sims 3 and 4, they just automatically slot to a table or whatever. It doesn't do that in The Sims 2. What you have to do is place them in front like this, and then you go into live mode, and then the game will automatically slide them under. So I need to playtest to make sure this works, because like, I don't know. I think it does work. I did turn off move objects and it says that it'll work, but I want to playtest to make sure, because I need to, I need to fix it if not. This room right here is the home office, which I think this looks so cozy. I'm using a big bookshelf. We have a little desk in here, a more like modernized computer. There's a little chair in here as well, and I just think this room looks so cozy. I think I also put a plant in here. You'll see that there's that base game plant. Y'all, I used that plant so many times in this house. Like, I was really not trying to use custom content, so I was like, let's just use a plant, and that plant is also in The Sims 3. Funny enough, Sims 3 literally does have a lot of the same objects that Sims 2 have. Like, they literally ported over a lot of objects. Like, even the window that you see, that window is also in Sims 3. So it's just kind of funny, right? But that's basically it for downstairs. So now we move to the upstairs, and y'all, we had so much space up here. I had originally wanted to make this into a playroom, but I was like, maybe not. So this is more like a secondary living room sitting area, more like a walkthrough area. There is a piano, like a standing piano, and there's also a big bookshelf up here. And then I later went back and I also added a bar just in case, the parents wanted a drink or something. But there was a lot of space up here. So maybe if you want to change it into something else, McCall, feel free to. I am going to leave this build link down below, by the way, if anyone wants to play in it, test it out. I have to literally go look up a video on how to share this, because I always learn how to do it and then I always forget it, because I don't really play The Sims 2 as much as I do the other games. So now I need to look up a tutorial on how to share this house. But don't worry, y'all. By the time you're watching this video, the house will be down below and you can download it. If you're like, CJ, how do I put this in my game? Just look at a tutorial on YouTube. But as you can see, the upstairs looks kind of cozy. I kind of had to settle for that funky looking rug. The rug choices in The Sims 2 are just not the best. Or some of them are cute, but they're just really, really small. So yeah. But anyway, now we move on to the parents' bedroom. So I wanted a more red-ish color scheme. I don't know why, but I just like the red color for this kind of house. So we went with the reddish color scheme. There's 2 end tables here. We have a little dresser. Their room also has a lot of space, and I thought about putting a computer desk upstairs. I didn't know if I wanted to do that or not. So there is some empty space in this room if you want to add one, McCall. But yeah. Also, I didn't use a budget for this house, by the way, so it's probably really expensive. But the parents' bedroom does have an ensuite, and it wraps around to the hallway. So there's a tub, a toilet, and then there's also a sink. So it's a full bathroom. I did also put a little chair in the parents' room too, just to fill in a little bit of space. But like I said, if you want to add more stuff, feel free to. I do add some curtains. There's a mirror in there as well. And then now we move on to the outside. So I just wanted this to be a more chill patio space. We have this little standing umbrella. I put a couple of lounge chairs back there. I do include a trash can because I almost forgot about the trash can. And there's also a table and a grill out here as well. But on that note, y'all, that's pretty much everything for the entire build. I hope you enjoy it, McCall. Thank you for trusting me with building something in The Sims 2, because I don't ever build in The Sims 2 really. So I think the house turned out pretty nice, right? But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below. I'll leave a link to this build down below as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Thanks for watching.